Okay, we are live. Hi, guys. Okay, that's our first live video.
Podcast or whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
We are on our way to Liberation.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want to, we're going to take you with us. We just talked about a topic about the ego and how the ego is actually blocking us, standing in our way from becoming better, from growing, from living our
Full potential.
highest potential.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I suffer that a lot.
Yeah.
My ego's like so strong. And I try to explain a lot of times, and I'm like fighting against it, feeling attacked. It happens from where you've come from or where you've grown up. But when you can become free of this, wow. I mean, like,
Yeah. This is, if you want to become better, and there's someone telling you, you know what, you have to do this to become better, and then there's this little, attacked ego that goes like, like, I
good
don't want
enough.
to.
I'm good
Yeah,
enough.
I don't
Yeah.
want to hear what you're saying. And anyway, you're attacking me. That's like you don't value me the way I am and things like that. And this is not what it's about. It's about like being able to take the ego out of the way and listen without this filter of I don't want to hear it and
Anger.
that's not fair what you're telling me. Listen without anything, without judgment,
And emotion.
without prejudice, just listen to it and go like, okay.
See if it works for you, I mean...
And how easy is that? If you can do that, if both parties can do it, if both, and even if you're in a group, if the whole group is able to listen to one another without anything,
Without emotion.
Yeah.
Without an emotional connection.
without any
Because
emotion
that's the hurt.
is
That's the hurt there, right there with the emotions, like, oh, I'm hurt, you're touching me, or you're doing something bad to me. But that's just your ego. In the end, that's just the ego.
Yeah.
Because the higher self is made of love. And
Yeah.
it's more than willing to hear and listen to everybody's ideas and stuff like this. And you just take what's good for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see, like, I'm having trouble with this. And, well, I could just try this. Put the ego aside and try it just for an hour.
Yeah.
Try it for 2.
Yeah.
You see it's starting to work. Try it for 10 minutes. Try it for 5. Just see if you can just relax yourself enough to be able, not to do what they've said, but to feel,
if it resonates.
yeah, if it resonates
with you.
With you.
Of course, it has to resonate with you.
Yeah.
That's okay. If it doesn't resonate, just throw it over the shoulder,
Yeah.
right?
And
But-
resonation is always changing, because as we're growing, as I always like to say spiritual beings, because we're human beings, but spiritual beings, the things that don't resonate today will probably resonate tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
If you're able to see everything from above, if you're having at one point a connection to your higher self, and you're able to step out of this ego that is like in its own little world, like feeling attacked by everything, and you go above it all, try to find the
happy place.
Yeah, the gaze from above, then you realize that you're not attacked. There is no attack. There is no life
the
that is
attachment. Break
not
the
on your
attachment.
side and this is not fair. It's not. It's just something that is happening for your benefit, for the benefit of your whole being, to become better, to grow, and to, step out of your comfort zone sometimes also.
Yeah, actually, let's share a little story. A few years back, I really loved myself. And that doesn't mean, oh, look at my new pair of Nikes or look at this new car I'm driving. It was more about really caring about yourself. So I wouldn't go out and get, wasted. I would stay constantly in myself and be doing good things. Go to the park, sit and read, go jogging, go skateboarding, do things that weren't hurting the actual body, and just within days, everything just started to change. The hot was just like this huge shift, a huge shift. I was amazed. It lasted for about a year before I got stuck into my little self again. But it's just like, you know, a window opens and you have a look through the window and you're like, wow, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. And then you just shut the window for whatever reason. But you open that window again, it's just as beautiful again.
It was
And
like
then,
a practice.
Yeah, it was
know?
like I was getting initiated into what life can be like
Yeah.
when I let go of this egoistic, brutal style of growing up, or whatever it might be in your case. When you can let go of that and start putting blame on someone and saying, okay, look, now I'm an adult and I choose to live a happier life. Now, what brings on a happier life? When you start to see what brings on a happier life and what actually matters. And I think it's really hard. They say it's really hard. When you're there, it's the easiest thing. You can't imagine how you lived before it. You don't even know how you were doing it. You know, now I've gone from there back to a stable life, but I'm maybe, yeah, it was like a peak there, and that's where we're both heading back there together. And we want to also be able to help other couples that you're having trouble with your partner, and all different kinds of things. Like a lot of things create life. Like a whole lot of things create life, and when you start slowly, just one by one, fixing things, all of a sudden this beautiful life appears. And it's like, it's your creation, it's what you've created. And it doesn't matter if someone's sworn at you or said something bad, you don't take things like that on. You know yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you know if you're a good person. It's pretty much that easy. And if you're not, that's okay, because we were not all good people. And that's totally okay, but we start to change to bring an inner happiness.
The thing is, there is not really good and bad,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, we are vibrating on a certain level.
You can
Some are
vibrate
here,
higher.
some are there, you know, it's everywhere, you know, and there's no good and bad. It's just, we are where we are, you know. Our ego is, you know, putting a label on it. Oh, that's good, that is bad, you know, but it's not. Like, you know, we saw something from Sadhguru the other day. He said,
that was very-
smoking is not good or bad.
She found it
It's
funny.
just
Me as an
stupid.
now ex-smoker, I found it really interesting. Actually, what you said.
He was like, it's just stupid. It's not good or bad. It's just stupid. You know, like, so there is no good or bad, you know. It's our ego loves to label everything, and it's also something that the ego needs to, you know, feel safe and to put something into a category. But it's all the way it is, and we are there where we are, and we can go higher and we can go lower and we can go everywhere. Oh, we have someone watching us. Hi. But what I wanted to say is, you know, we have to become aware that we are actually constantly manifesting in every second of our life. Every thought, every word that we put out, every emotion, everything is creating an energy
and
that
is
yes,
affecting the vibration that we are.
that is attracting back to us.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to become aware of what we are thinking, what we are saying, every word. You know, if we want to become, you know, have our dream life, then we have to start to watch everything that we put out.
To become conscious of what's going on, you know, understanding it. I mean, a lot of things we do, it's like an automated response, even driving the car.
Yeah.
I mean, many times you can be driving a car and you're like, oh my God, I just went past that person, I can't even remember it. Of course you can't, because it's an automated response.
Yeah.
After years and years of doing something, you just do it. You don't realize you're doing it, but you just do it.
Yeah.
And there was also another thing I would say, it's a process that can be fast or slow. That all depends on yourself. But you've got to understand this thing as well. The Great Wall of China, it's 500 kilometers long. It started with the first brick. If that first brick wasn't laid, that would never be where it is today. and that wouldn't have done the separation and created the things that it created, being the Great Wall of China. So it's slowly, after when you start to care and love yourself, it's just constantly more and more you're caring, and then a lot of people, as I say about, oh, they take my energy. No one can take your energy. It's all up to you, how your energy is. It's either rising or it's lowered. You are the response of the effect that's creating the energy. So Dorothy can't take my energy, but when her energy's great and my energy's great, this combines and becomes a stronger energy, and so it also helps a lot of other people. So when you're feeling good, other people you don't know what other people are going through in their life. You just don't know. This is one thing that we always like, oh, he didn't say hello, or he didn't say good morning. Maybe his cat died. Maybe 100 things could have happened to him, you know. I've got things that happened to me in my 50 years of life that a lot of people just curl over and die. They'll be like, oh my God, I can't handle this anymore. But we just soldier on, and we go and we look at things as a learning experience, because when you're learning, you're alive. When you're learning, you're alive. You know, and this is the whole point of life. The longest thing we do in this body is live. Live is the longest thing we do. We don't love someone longer. We don't date someone longer. We don't be married for longer. From that first breath to our last breath, we should be living. And I'll say this, people say, oh, there's no perfection. There is. Everybody's got a certain perfection in themselves. I try every day to perfect myself, to make myself better, not to get angry because the guy cut me off in the street, or because, oh my God, I just got this new bill of something that I wasn't thinking about last week and bought. No, you look at things how they are and what's going on, and you stand up like the baseball player stands up to the plate and hits the ball. You say, this has happened. I need 5-10 minutes to sit down by myself, think about what I can do, and you move on. And never something's going to come in the same situation. Every moment is unique. Every moment. You can make the same mistake 10 times and it's okay, because you're in a different time in your life. Okay? And we should actually stop looking at things as mistakes also, because it's not a mistake. It's the way it is to make you better.
It's isness.
It's isness.
It's
yeah.
not
not a
good and
mistake,
bad.
yeah.
It's just isness, and it's happening, and it's, you know, like we are just a small particle in this whole system of universe.
But it's
and
needed.
We are,
this small particle is needed.
yes,
yeah,
we are part that is happening and that is important. But you know, we are creating all this information that we send out into the space around us, and that's what is actually needed. The universe, or the interworld, is using this information to expand, and that's what we do. We help the universe to expand. So sometimes we see ourselves so important, but if you think about that, if you start to go like, you know, what am I actually doing here? I mean, you know, of course we want to live.
Am I shining, or am I just being a
we
black
want
spot?
to live our dream life, you know, of course, and that's why we are here. You know, why not? You know, we can decide.
Whatever we want.
Some people want to live, you know, their small life. Some people want to live their dream life, and there is also nothing wrong about anything, you know. But if you want to live your dream life, understand, you know,
what
like
it is. What it is.
what am I doing here, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah. So that was our first live.
Oh, we're not going to keep talking.
You want to go on?
We've also
Okay.
got Marisol watching us, and it's
Yeah.
like pretty special that we have somebody watching us. It's the first time. And we want to keep producing this kind of thing, and also people can write in and say if they've got some kind of thing that they're having trouble with in their life.
Yeah.
You know, because always when you have someone who's looking at things from a different view, like I'm having trouble with this, and let's say Marisol looks at it and she's like, oh, but you could just do this. I couldn't see that. Do you know what I mean? So it's always the more eyes you have on something, and the less connection emotionally to it, the solution is there. You know, it's like
if you listen to it without the filter of the ego, you know, if you listen to it with an open mind, without
anger, without
thinking of feeling attacked, or, you know, like...
I used to get it a lot with Dorothy. I'd be like, oh my God, you don't know where I came from, of course, where I came from, the Viking from the Himalayas, I don't know. But after like actually doing some self-realization with myself, why am I feeling attacked? It's my wife. She loves me to bits. We're actually renting at the moment. Haven't got heaps of money or anything like this. We're just totally normal like everybody else. So don't think, oh, we're these guys, you know. It's like, I'm renting. I had a car accident. I owe 100,000 on a car accident that wasn't my fault. But I just can't be going through all the courts and stuff like this because this is not where I want my energy to be. I want my energy, okay, cool. That's your way you see it. I'll pay you off and get things done. So many people are like, oh, my life's so bad. Life's beautiful.
Yeah.
Life is so beautiful. Every day we wake up in the morning, you can just be grateful and thankful.
Yeah.
Just say to yourself, I'm grateful to wake up today. I'm thankful for whatever you might have in your life that you want to be thankful about. That is moving towards a positive step. And at the end of the night, you can also say that. You can just say, wow, it was a good life. I didn't have a car accident. I didn't lose a limb. Everybody around me was cool. And if something like that does happen, you're going to handle it in a different way. But be grateful for what we've got. I mean, every moment, every breath is something to be grateful about. And every moment and every breath is a chance for change for everybody.
Exactly.
You can change yourself. If there's something that's bothering you, there's something that's bothering you. You know, I used to take drugs, and as it was always like, oh God, it just makes me feel great. What it actually did was just numb the emotion, and then you come off whatever you're doing, and it's just there. But now it's 3 days later, and now it's, oh my God, now it's overdue. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you pay for not being conscious. You pay in a spiritual way. You pay. It'll wreck your mind when you're not conscious of what's going on. Because if you're conscious, you can start to make changes. When you're not conscious, it's going to stay the same. If not get worse, because now it's overdue, it stays the same. So if we can start to be a little bit more conscious, even, you know, it's a really hard thing. I've been meditating for years, and I got into meditation before I knew it was meditation, just through breath. And yeah, it's like no one's better or worse. We're all on a level, and it's all great. The thing that every day, if you can just move 1 millimeter, that's like a tiny spot, but 1 millimeter, just move a little bit forward, or think about what happened, and think of it with maybe a new focus or a new way of looking at it. You're moving in the right direction.
And honor yourself in that moment. If you realize that you have gone a step forward,
I've done good, man. I've
honor yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
and tomorrow
put
might
your
be angry
hands
again.
on your heart and go like, I honor myself for having done something good for myself. Placebo. Having done something good for myself. Because this is what we are actually operating on. We are operating on placebo. 99% is placebo. If you go to a doctor and, you know, this white suited man tells you, I can heal you, the thought and the belief that this man is going to heal me is actually doing the healing, not the tablets or anything. You know, it's actually the belief that this man is going to do something good for myself.
Taking this tablet, I'm going to be healed. And that's okay, because what's happening is the chemical balance in the brain is saying, I'm going to be healed. And you will heal. You will heal.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you believe that strong enough, from children, we're brainwashed with certain ways, you know. And I think from the time you're in your mum's belly until about 5 years old. We think it was 7, but I think now I heard from some scientists and doctors studies that it's 5. Your brain is programmed. It's programmed, and then a lot of people live a lot through their life. They become adults and stuff, and something's always just not feeling good, and they don't know where this feeling comes from. But I can tell you also, as a CBT therapist, it probably came from something that your grandfather or grandmother or sister said, or someone said before you were even old enough to decide if that was the right decision. But you believed it because they had said it at a time when the brain was just wanting to grab information. And so it stored this information in the back of the brain, and always when something like this happens, that pops up again. It's neuroscience. It'll spring open. Oh, I've got to fall into this protection, or try to look after myself, or I don't know, like a lot of other things rather than just being flow. And so when you can start to actually look at things with a different view of hurt or pain, or actually I say emotion, because the spiritual selves don't really have an emotion apart from love. Where so you can take these negative emotions. What could be a negative emotion would be getting angry because you said good morning to somebody and they didn't say it back. So I get upset. I said good morning, he didn't say it. Does not matter. You said it. That's great. Your heart was feeling good.
Think about
that's
why.
enough.
Why do you say it?
enough, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
do you say it for someone to react to
To
you,
answer?
or do you say it because it feels good? It feels good inside your own universe. It feels good to
Say
be
good morning. Yeah.
happy with other people, to be nice with other people,
Yeah.
even if they are not happy. That's their story.
That's
that's
not yours.
their universe. But my universe is happy,
Yeah.
and it. I don't need a reaction of someone else if I'm fulfilled inside of myself.
Also, another story. Dorothy was driving to work on her bike, and for some reason she just started waving to everybody and saying hello as she was riding. And she said nearly 99% of the people saw her and reacted with a wave. And,
They were like, "Oh, hi!"
and so it just goes to show when you're like on a nice happy feeling. That this catches on, and other people, you're not giving them that feeling, they get confused, but that bit of like sadness or whatever might be happening inside of them, at that moment they feel like, oh, hey, hi, how are you going? It's like, it's great. I mean, when you can be a positive self, a positive person.
You might be uplifting the other person,
Yeah.
but you don't do it to uplift the other person. You do it to uplift
Yeah.
yourself.
Exactly.
Anything you do in the end is, why am I doing it? I'm doing it to feel good.
Yeah. And,
that's the
yeah.
first point.
That's the first, yeah. And then, I mean, this is the other thing, like many people, like I'm also a father, and our mothers, I mean, I'm 70s kids, so our mothers, it's all about the kids and stuff like this, and that's also a little bit wrong. You have to be 100%. When you're 100%, everything that comes in your surrounding will be touched with 100%. And that's just let's just say now, I'm her mother, and I want her to feel great, and I'm stressed because of, that's what she will get. She won't get this beautiful 100% self because I've got stress in me. So when I'm at 100% and I meet you, you could be at 100% too. And that's why we have sometimes some people, they just connect and they're like, wow, like it feels good. She's not just good looking, or he's not just hot, but it feels good to talk to that person, or whatever. And this is like what's happening these days, because we have internet's great, everything's so good, so you can find out so much information about everything.
Hey, Yasmin.
Yeah. Hey, Yasmin. And so you've got all this information right there at a touch of your fingers, right? But it has, in one way, stopped us having this human contact with one another, because now we can just sit on our phone and write, my friend, how's it going? Before we would jump in the car and go and meet them at a park. So this is what's a little bit getting lost through the internet style of life. But it's balance. I mean, like, we're losing that. If you're that kind of person that can say, you know what, I'm going to go and meet this friend today. I'm going to just go and meet them because it feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, it's okay. You don't have to meet them again. It's not like you're writing some kind of like 10 commandment. I have to meet Dorothy every day. Do you know what I mean? You might feel that it's not good, and first you would discuss it, of course, saying, you know what, when you said that, didn't make me feel good, or whatever. And you look at also these feelings. Why did it not make you feel good? How can somebody else tell you what kind of person you are? Not possible. You know what kind of person you are. No one else. Everyone's got their own story and their own way they look. Even other people look at us. We look at ourselves in the mirror. We look different to other people.
That's the thing. Like,
everybody through their own eyes it's totally different.
Yeah, like if you imagine that your life is played out in a cinema, right?
Yeah.
And then you have all these different cinema theater rooms, yeah, and in one cinema where your life is played out on the screen, there is your mother sitting, and another theater room, there is your dad sitting, and another room you are sitting watching your life. And if you go to the screen room of your mom and your dad, You go like, I don't recognize myself. I don't recognize my dad. I don't recognize my mom, because they see completely different pictures of you and other
That's their
people
background.
that surround
that's
them.
from them.
You
That's
know,
theirs.
it's a totally different story that's happening in everybody. So whatever another person sees in you or is judging you about, this has nothing to do with you. It's their judgment. It's their narrative.
Yeah.
It's not your narrative.
It's not your story.
It's
not your
That's
story.
what we have to
Yeah.
understand. So we don't have to feel attacked or criticized by anyone. It's because it's not really, it's their story. What they think is you are,
Yeah.
but it's not you.
Yeah.
Your
Definitely.
story is different.
Yeah, totally different, and everybody's got a story. That's the other thing. Hi, Dimitri. Everybody's got a story. This is the other thing too. We were in India a couple of years ago, and we were at a Moji Baba satsang. That's like he's speaking and people standing and he's asking them questions, or people putting their hand up, and I'm not going to. It must have been about 85% of people asked him what they have to do to become like him. You can't do that. You are you, and he is he, and she is she. It's you go through your steps to find out what is good for you, and that's going to bring you to your higher self. When I'm asking her for her experience. My daughters used to do it a lot when they were young, and they had like a certain situation, and a lot of times they would say, "Oh, Dad, you know better, tell us." And it was like, this is your life. This is your life. You have to make the decision for what is right and what is wrong. And many people would say to me, I come from a Greek background, so it wasn't like that for me growing up. And, oh, you can't do that. You've got to show the kids what they have to do. And it's like, no, you just have to give people love. And when you give people love, then they can, in themselves, make their mistakes, not mistakes, we talk about mistakes, make their lessons the way they have to be, and what they have to be for them, because it's their lesson, it's not yours. Or like, I wanted to be a surf superstar, so now I've got a daughter, I'm going to turn her into a surf superstar. You're most likely going to make your child hate it. You know what I mean? If you're going to do anything, encourage them for being them. Help them be them. My daughters used to sometimes get the piece of paper with the pros and cons, and sometimes they would go against what their pros and cons was. They'd go against the cons to make the decision. Not once did I say that's not good to do. That's their thing, that's theirs. And I just said, if it doesn't work, you can always come back to here and go the other way, And this is the one thing that we got to understand with decision making and stuff like that, that we are constantly changing, our thoughts constantly changing, our life's constantly changing, and we can also change the decision of today it was yes and tomorrow it's no, because hopefully you've realised something in yourself that doesn't feel good for you. If it's not feeling good for you, just let it go. Let it go. Really. Yeah.
But the letting go is the hardest part.
Yeah,
because
that's
our ego loves to stick
hold on to stuff.
stories and like labels, and it's like sometimes it's really a loop in the brain going like, yeah, but I should have done this, and and that's also so funny. Like Eckhart Tolle, he was telling about a story like about birds. Like imagine birds would sit on a branch and they would go like talking to the other bird, the neighbor bird, going like, I don't know if I should go to the other branch, if I should fly to the other branch. If I'm going to fly there, am I going to like it? Or I might not like it, but if I'm going to want, if I want to fly back, this place might not be free anymore. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. Am I going to fly over there? And what am I going to do? So, this is how we are in our brain, how it's like happening in our brain. Birds just fly over there, and then they fly somewhere else.
Yeah.
They go with the flow. And we don't go with the flow. We have to learn to go more with the flow and to relax into what our path has actually opened up for us. Everything is opening up, but our ego goes, oh, I don't know if that's right. I should, use the other way, like
and
we're not listening,
This is also another thing that I've believed in all my life, actually. You never know if you never go. You have to go and check it out, see how
Yeah.
it feels for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be great. I mean, I work in West Australia and mines and stuff, and like a lot of times people are like, oh my god, you're gonna hate that place. I went there and loved it. They hated it, and that was okay.
Yeah.
And that's not my judgment to that.
Yeah.
I went there and I loved it. Because it's all about your attitude, how you are with things, you know what I mean? And I had a good time. I went there, worked, had a ball, come back, made my money, came back home, go to another place. I don't think I've ever had any kind of really bad experiences. Even when I lived in Germany for 10 years, and everybody was like, oh my god, Germans are so hard, and Dorothy's German, and Germans are so hard, and you know, ein, zwei, drei, and like one knows the three numbers. And I went there, and people speak, and it was so beautiful. Even the Bulgarians down south, it was so, the way they speak, it's so beautiful. I never felt threatened. I never felt any kind of uncomfort. It was all really nice. One time, there was a girl that obviously was one of these, what was it? Fliesentisch.
Fliesentischbesitzer.
Yeah, some Fliesentischbesitzer. We can explain that too. It's like people have these tables that have tiles on them. They sit there watching the same shows every day, not working, just doing the same every day. Not growing in any way. And she was just rather upset because I was living in a place that was better than hers. And I was like, well, I'm just living there. It's like this little cottage. I was living there with a girl that I love still she's totally in my heart, Swansea. And we were living in this place. It was just beautiful. And I didn't realise there were so many people that were so jealous that they couldn't get a place there. We were just lucky because this old lady liked my girlfriend at the time, Swansea, which I was still very much love each other. But yeah, and so we got this house, and so many people were angry. It was like we left the place after that. It was really amazing. It's like an eye opener. How like something that makes you really happy can make somebody really, really sad, and then some people even take that on upon themselves. And then I become sad. No, I'm really, really happy. I'm happy, and so what he says is not going to affect, or she says is not going to affect how I feel. All right. The only thing that can affect what you feel is if when you're doing something that's not right, because you feel that it's not right. And this is probably the way also that the karma circle works. You're thinking about it, because everything we're thinking about, we're creating. So if you're thinking about it, you've created a bad situation. Do you know what I mean? And
There's nothing that
this is why you've got to be
there's
completely on a free-minded
nothing
love.
from the outside that is punishing you for anything.
No, you punish
you're
yourself.
Punishing yourself. You know?
And so when you can be without a negative thought, there will be no negativity coming into your life. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
This is what we say in Germany. Der Teufel is shitting on the biggest mountain.
Teufel being devil.
The devil, which means like, you know, if you have already accumulated of whatever, you know, like abundance or lack, you get more of that.
Yeah.
You know, the devil, like, you know, that's just
He will
the
help
saying,
you get whatever
but
more.
it's-
He will help you get whatever
it's
more
the
you have.
energy. You know, the energy is giving you more of what you have already accumulated inside of yourself. If you have accumulated an abundance of lack, this is what you get more of. If you have accumulated an abundance of happiness, this is what is coming more to you.
It's like a magnet.
You know? It's like 100 times more of what you have already inside of you.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so...
And at
it
the
is
same
what it is.
time, if you are together with, you know, your partner on the same level, you know, surfing on that same high,
Yeah.
it becomes, you know, so much more.
And easier. It becomes a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, that every time you go sit in the park with somebody and everybody's feeling great with one another,
Yeah.
you're going to see this unbelievable energy of the whole group. And this is, I mean, you have a guy, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's a neuroscientist. He's healing people with stage 4 cancer. So he's putting you in a room and he's teaching you in a week how to raise your level, how to become a better person, how to feel better, to let go of the things that aren't important. And then he uses this energy and focuses it on someone who's really sick. And they're healing people. That's like in the Bible, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? I mean, so, and I don't even know if he wears a cross. It's got nothing. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's got totally nothing to do with religion. It's got to do with totally understanding and opening yourself up to love and caring about you. It doesn't matter what even your partner says. Doesn't even matter what your neighbor says. Doesn't matter what your old mother or grandmother says. Does not matter. What matters is what you're feeling, and what you're saying will change the world around you. And I know it's one person, you say, oh, 1 person in 9 billion that we nearly are now. It starts from the first stone. As the Great Wall of China, the first stone was laid, 500 kilometres of wall was built. Without that first stone, which is you, nothing changes. No one's going to save you. No one can actually save. They can be like, it's like one of those, what's those miracle diets. Yeah, it's worked for a week. Oh my God, I lost 3 kilos. Great. Next week I'll put on 5. Because it's not, it's about you. It's you. What you can do. What you can do to change. Everything is about you. It's your life. It's totally your life. You can make the changes that have to be made. I was on another thing. I was on really bad time when I was younger in my life, and doing really things that people say you can't just walk away from when you're doing this kind of drugs or whatever. I walked away. Why? Because I realised that's not my life. I suffered, as we do as humans, but you stop your suffering, and only you can stop your suffering when you realise that it's not your life. So, this ain't my life. So, what is my life? Well, I'm going to start searching. I played every sport under the sun, trying to find out whatever I was good at. I actually used to be pretty good at all sports because I was pretty fit. But, you just go on. You just keep searching until something feels amazing. When it feels amazing, keep doing it.
If it doesn't,
it takes 10 years. When it stops feeling amazing,
then
love yourself enough to
find
stop doing
something
it.
else.
Yeah,
you know?
God,
You're not thing.
You because of something you do. You're not you because of something you do. You're you because of you. It's not because, I love Dorothy because she's a massage therapist. No, it's not like that. It doesn't work like that. It's like you have to love you and forgive. That's another huge. This is huge. To forgive yourself, because a lot of times the mistakes and things that we are doing and you feel bad, you're human. That's what we're here to do. We're here to create experience. Just experience. No bad or no good, experience. Didn't feel good today, tomorrow it doesn't feel good. Well, then you change your view on it or your decision on it, whatever it might be. We're lacking the love. We don't love enough, I believe. We don't love enough, I believe. And this is probably starting to create a little bit of a dent in the human cycle, because I love him or her for whatever reason. Just love the person for being a person. That's so special. It's so special that you're here breathing the same earth as that person. Doesn't matter if you're in another country, we're all here. We're called earthlings. We all live on the earth. And that goes for animals and goes for everything. We're living here on this earth to create an amazing life. To create, not to have to write a book and become millionaires. For you, for your life experience to be amazing.
And understand that, there is a connection to, everybody is connected. Every being is connected with one another. We are all communicating with one another. If we would understand that, sometimes we're doing things that are not healthy for us, or is kind of like blocking us from becoming our best self, right? And we just go like, it's my problem, why do the others care, But we don't see that this me that is blocking or that is not living to my highest potential is actually creating an energy around this little me that is, it is radiating out to everybody.
That's right.
It's not just me who's doing something bad if you want to label it as something bad, is doing something not good for myself. It is an energy that is all around me, that is affecting everyone around me. You know, if we would understand that, we would start to think, oh, maybe I should be better with me, because
And
it
love
benefits,
yourself and forgive yourself.
It benefits everybody around me.
Yeah,
you
we're
know.
here to create lessons and experiences, and yeah, I mean, everybody can say, "Oh, this wasn't good." I mean, my mother comes from a very Bible background, so there was this one story with Jesus that they were throwing stones on Maria Magdalena. I think she was like the town prostitute or something they were calling her, and he said, "Whoever hasn't sinned, cast a stone." And there was nobody who hadn't. No stones were getting thrown anymore because nobody hasn't sinned. We've all done great and we've all done bad. The thing is to be able to forgive ourselves. If we feel like we've done something that's bad, we forgive ourselves. It's so important to forgive yourself. That was your decision at that moment in time that's not going to return. It's at that moment in time that seemed like it was the best thing to do and you did it. And then later on you find out it wasn't the best thing to do. Okay, so next time that happens again, don't do it.
Radical
you know where it's
forgiveness.
Going. Yeah, so you got to forgive yourself. You have to forgive what the decisions.
Nobody
like I said,
else. Nobody else has you know.
And most of your decisions
you
aren't even
need
your
any
own.
approval from anybody else. You just need your
Your
own
approval, yeah.
approval. You need to be okay with whatever you have done. That's the most important part.
And this is another funny thing actually. I used to find myself extremely ugly. I used to think I was so not good looking, or it mattered when I was younger. It mattered, and then when you start to actually care and love about yourself, you start to look at yourself from different eyes, and it's like the outside's doesn't even matter compared to what I'm doing in here. If I'm helping and being a better person here, you look like gold. It's just so easy. And we have all these stresses that happen in our life, don't you think? Like, you know,
it's radiating out, you know, like, you know, whatever we
everyone's
have
beautiful.
inside of
Everyone's
us.
so beautiful.
You know, like if we feel bad or ugly inside of ourselves, this is what our vessel looks like, you know, or to others. You know, this is the energy that we put onto our vessel, and this is what others perceive from the outside.
And also this
it's
reflection.
our energy that can change the beauty of ourselves, you know.
And also, normally when you look at someone you don't like something about them, let's say like that, it's probably because it's touching something inside you that you don't like about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mirror.
This is like
the mirror effect.
Yeah, it's like this mirror effect. I mean, when you look at someone, they could be doing whatever you might class yourself as something really bad.
Yeah.
You know, you can remove yourself from the situation so you're not around it, or you can help change that situation. That's your decision, what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You're not here to save anybody. You are here to live your best life experience. And maybe that means going through a whole lot of suffering. That's your road. You know, everyone's got their path. You've got to do what you need. But believe me, in the end, you'll know everything. You know,
I was always thinking like
the end of this life. I'm just saying, yeah. I mean,
I was always thinking, you know, if you're talking to someone and someone says anything to you, you're beautiful, you're awesome, you're ugly, whatever they say to you, right? And you kind of like see yourself as a mirror for the other person, and whatever they say to you is actually for them to talk into a mirror. Then you realize they don't really mean me. They are talking about themselves. They are talking into their own mirror.
but that's okay.
And that's okay. But you don't feel attacked anymore if you start to, you know, practice that. If you go like, you know, they are talking about themselves, because everything that anybody says from themselves about another person is what they have inside of them. It's a potential that is inside of them, and that's why they are able to say that. That's why they are able to judge in a certain way. You know, it's not.
That's also judgment.
It's just really something that, you know, the potential that they have inside of themselves is able to be expressed to the outside from them, and that's why, they are saying that. But like I said, if you think, okay, it's actually them talking into their own mirror because it's their potential that they are expressing, then you don't feel attacked anymore. There is nothing to feel attacked if you understand that, and if you get to this position of perceiving it that way
and understanding yourself. When you start to understand yourself, it's like I had times when people be like, "Oh, you're not cool" or whatever, and it's like, it didn't bother me. I know if I'm cool. I mean, when I look in the mirror and see myself, and I used to do it, I did this, there's also a little thing you do, like you'd get up and have a shower and stand in front of the mirror for 5 minutes. It's a really hard thing to do, actually. It's really hard. But, and you're like, oh God, look at my bum's saggy, or oh, my muscles aren't big enough, and then slowly over time, when you start to be grateful for you, you're fine. You're great. And what you're seeing is not what the other person's seeing. That's the other thing too. We sit in the same room, the same time, watch a film. The film finishes, they give us a piece of paper and ask us to write something about the film. Like, what was our view on the film? I can guarantee you it's not going to be the same as what the other person saw. I could always bet my life on it. There's not going to be two people in the world that have seen the same things. Maybe it might change when you have like these Siamese twins or something like that. But I'm going to tell you, you're looking through your eyes. That's come from your life. They're looking through their eyes, through their life. What's happening in their life. So what I might see as something happy, they might see it as something sad. Now, there's no right or wrong. Is it happy or is it sad? That's not something we should be worried about. You should just be looking at what you're feeling inside, your emotions, what's being affected with you, and why is that being affected. And that's when you can start to go back and have a look at where did this feeling begin. And you'll probably find out that it began from up to the ages of 5 years old, when you were just a sponge getting information from everybody. And that's just...
Because your brain is in hypnotic state in the first 5 or 7 years.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say hypnotic state.
It is a hypnotic state. That's what science find out.
Oh.
It's a hypnotic state. It's on alpha waves.
Oh, yeah.
So your brain is just taking everything in without any discussion, without you're just agreeing to anything that's coming in.
So you're agreeing to things, and then...
But you can change that.
Yeah, you can
like
change.
at one point we go into our subconsciousness, and that's why meditation is so important. We go into our subconsciousness, and we start to, put everything out, throw everything out that we cannot agree to anymore. We're not resonating.
That feels painful. That also feels very painful for the ego, because the ego's like, I'm Philip because my dad used to beat me and my mum didn't love me enough. Do you know? That's not Philip. That's just an experience Philip might have gone through. It's not Philip.
That's the ego identification.
It's the ego identification.
And the ego doesn't want to let go of identification. So we have to be
super vigilant.
Yeah, we have to be very straight, very focused to be able to let go of certain identifications.
Recognize those things,
but that's why, what I thought is, I would love to do a meditation every day, live here. We invite you to that. Like a guided meditation in the beginning, and then we just, do it without words, to heighten our energy, to lift ourselves up to the next level, to the upper room, as the guides from Bohol Selig say.
And it's funny because you do this for, I mean, it doesn't have to be long, just you do it for a week, every morning, every night. This one little, it's just like a
prayer.
It's like, I won't say prayer because that goes a little bit religious, but it's like more of a being grateful.
Affirmation.
And like to say that you're open for the new things that are about to come in your life, which is definitely going to be positive when you're in a positive mood. And you will see within a week how things just start to feel better.
Yeah.
It's like what's headlights of a car. They only show you the road for 200 meters in front. 200 meters, and you can travel thousands of kilometers. Just by seeing those 2,200 meters in front of you, you can drive at night thousands of kilometers. So all this does is cracks open the door. It cracks open the door that can lead you to 1,000 kilometers of highways.
But you go one step after the other.
Yeah, it's just,
and you're patient.
Yeah, and when you're doing it every
you
day,
don't
it's like
judge yourself if you're not so good one day, and because it's always different. Like we have different days, and sometimes life goes like this, and it goes down, and a little bit higher, and goes down, and. But you're slowly going higher.
You're growing every day, and even if you drop back down. I'm the master of destruction. I am so the master of self-destruction. When something's feeling too good, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just going to break this because it's just not used to it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it's becoming aware of these things.
Well, that's what's happening now. I know I'm really realizing all these different things. It's like, when you start to understand you, the real you, not the you that somebody taught you to be, but the real you, and start to see effects that all these things have. I did a CBT, which is Cognitive Behavior Therapy course, which it says about things like this, like when you're so young that people are saying stuff and you take it on as a belief, and you live most of your life with that belief, even though it's not your own. So this is the most saddest part. It's not even your own belief. It's not something that happened in your life. It was something that someone said that changed your whole outlook on life. So, with cognitive behavior, so this happened, and I've been living all my life, and then I'm like, well, it's not me because I started to do this at 27, but and it wouldn't matter if it was me or not, but I'm just trying to say, I started from 27 to start to weed these things out and start to realise, where did this emotion come from? Why does that really not feel good? Why? It just doesn't. That's not good enough. That means you're going to keep going on life and feeling not good. Why does it not feel good? Ask the question, look inside you, look inside your past, and find out why this happened, or why this seed was sown, where it came from, and then grab your little shovel and dig that seed out, and throw it away, and look at it through another set of eyes. Because a lot of things that we think aren't good aren't actually bad, and things that we feel are great but are creating bad aren't so good. Do you know what I mean? If you can understand.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like what we have
You're
learned.
You're healing
like
you.
what our program is we feel comfortable in our program, and if it's like we want to call it bad habits, we feel comfortable in that because this is our program, and it feels
That's
like kind
me.
of like
That's me.
identification, ego identification, and this is what I can agree to and resonate with. But
Because I've been doing it for so long.
smoking and drinking and whatever it is, it's just you feel, or eating a lot of sugars, or like buying compulsively online stuff. It can be anything. It's just giving you a small moment of satisfaction, but it's not really, it's not the real deal. It's we feel comfortable in this because this is how we have done it over years. But
we're creatures of habit.
But what is really feeling good is getting rid of it, liberating yourself from that. Yeah. That's the real deal, like becoming rid of everything that is, keeping you contracted.
Yeah. Not letting you grow. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it was great, and we're gonna go on live now regularly, and we're gonna start to do some meditations also online, and we invite you to join us and grow with us.
Hi, Dim. And Sandra. And also if you want to drop comments in something that
please.
Just do it.
Yeah, if you have
this
questions.
Is not for us. This is for all of us. This is for all of us to be able to open up they call it the heart chakra, and be able to say what you're really feeling. Not what your mind's thinking, but what your heart is feeling. And if you're feeling whatever troubled or anything like that, drop a line. We can talk. We can hang out. We can whatever.
We're open to anything. Comments.
It's about lifting the whole vibration of the world, man. We can do it all together. You know, like the Great Wall of China with the first brick, 500 kilometers long. We can do that. We can do this. You know, we can. And also, there was another thing that I had when I was young. We create all these walls and boundaries inside of ourselves, and when you really go deep into meditative states and have a look at things, there is no walls, there is no locked doors, everything is totally open. We've created that inside ourselves. To our heart, I got hurt, I got heartbroken, whatever caused this stress, you know.
Open your heart.
Yeah, and you create a wall because you don't want to feel that pain again. You know? It's a human pain. It's something you created. You can also empty your heart as fast as you can fill it. That is truth for experience. You can empty your heart as fast as you can fill it. Yeah. So don't hold on to nothing bad. Any bad feelings, you can just do this for one day.
Well,
when a bad feeling comes into the mind, like especially from the past, realize it and just say, you don't affect me anymore. You don't affect me anymore.
I guess at one point you're able to, but I think there are also times when you just need these moments of learning. You know, if you cannot really let go of it, maybe it's just because you need to learn from it.
Yeah.
You know, it's your own pace, everybody's own pace.
Totally,
how long you hold on to something or not. There's nothing bad about emotions as long, you know, as they don't
And they're not destroying you.
become too theatrical, too much of a, you know, like, I'm feeling so bad.
Be you. Be great.
Yeah.
You are great.
Yeah.
You know, here's another problem that we find out that I realise that if you could accept that you are beautiful, if you could accept it, the whole world will see you as beautiful.
Exactly.
It's just like that. Whilst you're not accepting yourself for whatever reasons that might have happened from the past or from whatever, that's what the world sees.
Yeah. It's not beauty.
And it's not beauty
surgery,
like this, like beauty like this. I mean, it's
not
beauty from inside.
Yes.
A beauty from inside. I have a bad thought, I catch it and take it straight away that way.
Yes.
I don't want to have bad thoughts.
And your whole outer appearance changes with your attitude inside of you towards yourself.
Yeah.
Feeling grateful for yourself. Being aware that you are taking good care of yourself, nourishing yourself well, being your best friend every day, standing by your side, loyal and true to yourself. Yeah. These are the things that change your outer appearance.
And change the things that you don't like. You change them. Don't wait for the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the sister or the mother or the father. You don't like something, look deep, change it. Make yourself feel amazing 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're feeling as amazing 24 hours a day. I'm not saying this would be really a hard thing to do, but but like it's all trying to one stone at a time.
It's just a decision.
A little bit, yeah.
Hard and easy, you know. We make it hard.
It can be super easy.
It can be easy, you know. We just decide to be good, you know. Okay, we love you so much.
Yeah, it was really
we
nice.
are so full of love.
Who watched us.
Yes, in our hearts. And we see you soon.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah,
enjoy the day, and take the gratitude with you.
Yeah.
For the whole rest of the day.
Yeah, and catch yourself.
Yes. Bye.